Good evening. This is the regular city council meeting of the Farmington City Council. It is 7 p.m., Monday, March 17th, 2025, in the city council chamber. And the first item on the agenda is a roll call. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Balk.
Here.
Mayor LaRussa.
Here.
Councilmember Parkins.
Here.
Councilmember Schneeman is excused this evening. And Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask all that are able, please stand and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is our first public comment of the evening. This is the portion of the city council meeting where members of the public who wish to address the council may do so. We ask that you please state your name and address for the record. And if you could keep your comments to 3 to 5 minutes, that would be helpful. Also, just a reminder, this is not a time for dialogue. This is a chance for the public to address the council. So if you have questions, we would ask that you address those to the city manager outside the meeting, or please just don't expect a response immediately on the spot. Is there anybody who would like to address the city council this evening? Ms. Smith, the floor is yours.
Good evening. My name is Angie Smith. I am a resident of Farmington Hills. You want my address?
Address for the record, please.
30436 Ramblewood Club, Farmington Hills, Michigan. I am on your Farmington School Board. Tonight, usually I would be in costume for this, but it is March Reading Month. And the city of Farmington and Farmington Hills had a wonderful meeting with the schools, and I thank Dave Murphy and the city manager from Farmington Hills and both mayors and city councils for working with the school board and building that gap and rebuilding that gap and bridge in our community. But all of you took pride into us reading in our schools, and you were all very excited. So March, I'm usually in costume, driving down Farmington or any other street, maybe in a nun's outfit or Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, but tonight you get Angie. And I am presenting each and every one of you a book so that you can read to our littles. You don't have to wear a costume, but if you want to, you can. You can just call me. I got a bunch of them. But at the end of the day, I want to thank each and every one of you for all that you have done. This is a thankless job. We all know that there is no money in being a public servant. And thank you for supporting the Farmington Public Schools. And thank you for your service on the behalf of myself, Board President Terry Weems, and our wonderful, beautiful superintendent, Dr. Kelly Coffin. So Mr. Murphy can take one and pass them all the way down to the last city council member. Please don't fight over them, but these are yours to keep. And inside is a little note from me. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Oh, Snoopy looks pretty cool. Yeah. I love Curious.
I'll let you guys pick first. I'll take what's left. I feel bad, Kevin's at the end of it.
Thank you.
It's got to be Scooby-Doo. Thanks, Angie. We'll leave, for Councilmember Schneeman, we will select Palatero Man for him,
I like it.
so he can. Thank you very much. Are there any other members of the public who wish to address the city council at this time? Seeing none, we'll close the first public comment of the evening. That brings us to item 4 on the agenda, approval of the items on the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Mr. Parkins. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 5, approval of the items on the regular agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Parkins, supported by Mrs. Balk. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. That brings us to old business, special event application Founders Festival. Is this Mrs. Balk or Mr. Murphy or? Okay.
It's me. So I do have another update for all of you from Julie and Jenna at 360 Event Productions. The Warner Mansion kickoff party will be taking place on the Wednesday prior to the festival. We will include information on the website and Facebook event description. South Farmington Baseball Fast Pitch fundraiser is confirmed. They will have a pitching radar and batting cage setup within the kids zone. And the cornhole tournament has been added to Saturday. This will be taking place inside the beer tent area Saturday during bingo. So those will kind of both be going. I do have a cover letter that was, had been sent over to Melissa as well that included confirmation of the updated events and the addition of cornhole and all the things. So I didn't know if anyone had questions, but I really do believe that everything that we've been asking for, and this has been unsolicited, I've had really solid communication, I will say, with both of them. And so I haven't had to remind them. I get the emails regularly, and they've been updating me. So I think that we're really in a solid place going forward.
Okay. Thank you for corresponding.
Sure.
Questions from the council?
I have no questions, but I heard what I wanted to hear. So all the things that were competitive look like they've been tacked down. So that's good, and the fact that we're getting more and regular communication is definitely what I was looking for. So thank you, Jana.
You're welcome.
I saw that the application was included again in the packet, and no changes that I could detect. There was a statement in the application about communication will be sent to local businesses within the central business district. And I think what I heard either Julie or Jenna say was that they expected Kate to do that. I would say the applicant is responsible.
Okay.
Even if they need the city to assist. I mean, they need to provide they need to provide the information, they need to package it. Like, we can deliver, we certainly are probably more effective at delivering it because we know everybody.
Right.
But I would say there needs to be some shared responsibility there. I don't want to leave this application open in that regard, because that's been a regular
Complaint.
piece of feedback that we've gotten, is that, you know, the businesses, especially for the road closures, when they're happening, when deliveries have to happen, when they have to get deliveries out.
Yep.
They really would like more, especially closer to the event, like tighter communication so they can carry on their business.
Okay.
That would be the only thing that I saw.
I can pass that on.
That would be great. And I hope the communication continues to be strong after we approve the application. So if there's nothing further, is there a motion?
Move to approve the Founders Festival special event application and resolution for the 2025 Farmington Founders Festival to be held in downtown Farmington, July 17th through 19th.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
Balk.
Yes.
LaRussa.
Yes.
Perkins.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Jonna, thank you again for all your work. I know it's a lot. The Founders Festival's big, and it's a big thing, so thank you for chasing that down. That brings us to item 7, new business, decertification from Act 51 major streets to certification as local streets for Grove Street, Thomas Street, Oakland Avenue, and Warner Street. Mr. Udi, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Yes, this is just for segments of each of those streets. Due to the current on-street parking widths of the street, or how we've reconfigured those streets or using those streets, they no longer meet the Act 51 major road criteria. So MDOT urged municipalities to intensely review their streets they have declared as major roads, make sure that they qualify. If they do not qualify, MDOT was going to allow communities up to 5 years to reconstruct them to make them meet the qualifications. After discussion with others in the city administration, we really don't have plans to reconstruct the streets to meet the current qualifications, so we felt it was in our interest to go ahead and decertify them to a local street, which would mean a reduction in Act 51 funding the city would receive. So Chris Weber and the Treasurer's Office did some calculations, and it does financially impact the community by decertifying them, but we felt for the health and safety of the community and for residents on those streets, let's decertify them to a local road and move on.
Questions for Mr. Udi? So Chuck, this is only for certain sections,
Yes,
right? The Oakland Avenue where we made it a one-way
correct?
and added the street parking.
Yep,
You know, Grove, yeah, I mean, it's probably 20 feet wide, but we have parking angled. We have angled parking there.
yeah, with angle parking, that's the checkbox that says, nope, you can't have it as a major street.
Yeah, I do think they did a good job of clarifying the requirements and making it very easy to assess. I was surprised that not more of our streets weren't on the list, so thank you for that.
I did quite a bit of investigating and checking, verifying what we have still meets the criteria.
Now Warner, between Thomas and Grand River,
Yes.
that doesn't meet the width requirement, because there's street parking there, but it's not,
It's too narrow.
yeah, okay.
It is too narrow. And Thomas Street from Farmington Road, traveling east behind the Civic to the north parking lot,
Alley,
alleyway, it doesn't meet the width requirements. And because it is one-way, that's another checkbox. As you get down between Warner and School Street, with the current on-street parking, it doesn't meet the width.
I don't think, I personally wouldn't reverse any of the decisions we made for any of these streets when the discussions were being had about, for example, Oakland Avenue, excuse me. So yeah, I don't think we would have done anything differently. And $8,800 is the impact per year,
Yes.
okay? Are there other streets that are local streets that need to be upgraded to major streets?
I haven't looked into that, to be honest with you. And typically, when we upgrade a local street to a major road, we typically wind up providing winter snow removal service on that through winter snow events. I haven't had any comments from public safety of the need to do anything. One street that we have in the last few years improved on winter maintenance on is El Toloma from Farmington to Fleming. So that could be something we might consider.
Yeah, because that one's pretty wide.
Yes.
Okay. I guess that would be interesting if there was an opportunity to, since we're doing the audit anyway, if there are some lengths that need to be reassessed and upgraded. I know you can file this separately. It's not something that has to all go all at once. So I would be interested. I don't know about others, but I'd be curious.
Definitely.
Okay. If there's nothing further for Mr. Udi, is there a motion?
Move to approve. 1, decertification resolution for segments of Grove Street, Thomas Street, Oakland Avenue, and Warner Street as a major street. And number 2, approve certifying those streets as local streets. And number 3, provide Michigan Department of Transportation, MDOT, the required documentation for the decertification or recertification.
Support.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Taylor, supported by Mrs. Balk. Clerk Bachman, will you please call the roll?
LaRussa?
Yes.
Parkins? Taylor?
Yes.
Balk?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. That brings us to item 8, our second public comment of the evening. Are there any members of the public who did not make comment who would like to make comment at this part of the meeting? Having given the opportunity for new people to speak, Ms. Smith, would you like to make additional comment at this public comment? It's okay, you don't have to, but, okay. Giving you a chance. I know I always want to give you a chance. If there's no further public comment, that brings us to city council comments. Are there any members of the city council who wish to make comment at this time? Want to welcome back City Manager Murphy. Thank you very much for coming back and spending the evening with us. I know it's long days for you, but we appreciate it. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And wishing you a speedy recovery. You seem to be getting around pretty well. You'll be back on the golf course in no time.
I hope so, April 24th.
Oh, there you go. That's when he's already got the date. Okay, that's the goal. PT, this is the date. No, welcome back. And Assistant Manager Weber did a very fine job standing in for you, so he kept everything running like a well-oiled machine. So thank you for prepping him appropriately and allowing him to step in for a bit. If there's nothing further, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Or,
Motion by Mrs. Balk, supported by Ms. Taylor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned at 7:18 PM.
That is awesome.
Aye.